Hi, welcome to my channel. Uh, I'm in a cabin right now, and that's why it looks different. And I'm also going through like a hair color change, so just blur your eyes. All right, so I'm just gonna tune in to the energies and stuff, see what I get. I'm getting I don't know if it's like people having kids, for the first time, or also like just the energy of children and stuff. And just being a bit worried at this time, like given all the changes that are going on. I think it's important to no matter what's going on in life, like to still just have that chill vibe and create emphasize creativity, like maybe do like more crafts or like leave like colored pencils and paper around to just encourage that kind of stuff so that children feel like connected to themselves and their own intuition and creativity and stuff, and like feel empowered by that. Because if you're just only watching shows or playing video games, like that's something somebody else made that you're interacting with, and it's not as empowering. Like, sure, it takes up time or it's entertaining, but it doesn't have that like foundational building blocks that are necessary. Like, it's important to kind of feel lost and find your way through creativity because you're just discovering things about yourself, like you're unpacking and uh I don't know, is it Plato's cave or somebody's cave anyway? Don't get mad. But you gotta light the darkness or just the mystery with your own light, kind of thing. Okay. I also feel like the energy of more teenagers being outraged at what's going on, and because last century there was sort of a different model for society than this century, early century. So let's say you were born after 2000. Why did I have to think about that? Yeah, 2000. um, I guess when you use your intuition, it's timeless. So I had to figure out what century I'm talking about. Or what millennia, whatever millennium I'm talking about. So, okay. Because media is so much part of their life. Like, let's say there was a power outage and nobody could use their cell phone or listen to the radio or watch a show or email someone. Like, you know, welcome to the 70s or whatever, practically. So, it's that kind of thing where, you have the people around you and you also have these voices from the media or the internet as part of the conversation, right? So it's created different reactions to circumstances now that would seem very foreign last century. And I don't know if on the ground, it always works to function from that place where media is a part of the discussion. Okay, let me just see what I'm talking about here. Yeah, again, I think it comes down to, like, people, like teenagers, like, knowing their principles, like like, a lot of situations have to be dealt with, like, mano a mano, like, it's you can't just be, like, knowing that the internet's gonna back you up on this opinion or this, thing that you're gonna do or whatever, the thing you're gonna say or, create. I think if possible, it would help to, like, know some people locally or, like, this has come up a lot in my readings during this new year about, like, getting to know people on your block or in your community and, like, maybe you don't know everybody. I mean, in a rural area, maybe you do know everybody, but, like, you know, maybe look a little further, but not too far. But maybe there's, like, how, like, some places have community centers and maybe the only people using it right now is, like, bridge night, like, older people who are used to using community centers or, like, whatever. So just kinda, like, carve out that space and be like, "When are these rooms available? Like, can I create, like, a book club or, like, a social games," whatever that's called, like, board games or whatever. I think, like, in French, they call them like, jeux social or whatever. That's why my French is horrible, but it's, like, part of my brain functioning now, so, like, living in Quebec, so I make mistakes sometimes in English. Yeah, so, like, figure out when some room is available at the community center and just be like, I don't know, like, inviting people in your general age range to hang out or, like, do something cool that would draw people there. Um, that isn't, like, heavy, like, it's not like a political meeting, like, just a place to chill and not have that pressure, the feeling of pressure on you. And so it's an opportunity to, like, create that social web on the ground, like, that, doesn't involve the internet. Because, like, let's say I mean, it'd be pretty easy for, like, uh, people that wanna, like, do stuff in society. I'm gonna say it really vaguely, but, like, because the internet runs on electricity, obviously removing electricity would be like a move. Um, so to be unaffected by that would be better. So knowing, like, at least two people in your community or greater community that you could ride a bike over to, or, like, just know that, like, okay, like, we usually see each other at the community center on this day at this time, or, like, we're allowed to just chill in the lobby of the community center, like, whatever it is where, like, kind of 70s, 80s style, like, that's just where people go, like, your age. Like, I know when I was a teenager, like, there were just certain spots, like, in Toronto, like, the Eaton Center or, like, Eglinton Station, the metro station or the subway station, that's just, like, where you found out, like, what was going on. Some like, random people just hanging out would, like, tell you, like, what parties were happening or, like, what people were choosing to do that evening en masse. So, it's that kind of thing where even if things got a bit, like, sketchy or unpredictable, you have some sort of predictability, even it doesn't have to be like a massive amount of people that are taking advantage of this community center or like place where you can gather for free. Um, but it's like it'll work for you and like the people, you know, that want to do that. Okay. All right. Yeah, and you don't even have to have like it could just be like a hangout. Like you don't have to be like, oh my god, this is gonna be so interesting and everybody's gonna come. It's more just like we're gonna hang out here and just whatever, even if you're just chatting or whatever. It's better than not doing that. And you're not on the internet doing that. All right. So we've done children, teenagers, what else? I feel this like energy of like outrage or people expressing their outrage and it doesn't have that like it doesn't feel like as safe or as productive as maybe another alternative. So I mean of course there's things to be outraged about, of course. But I'm just talking about like how to best um make a change or make people aware and stuff. So okay, now my nose is running. It's like cold in this room this way. Um, okay, okay, the hours. I guess like I've said in some other videos recently, find something local that you can like fix or improve, and that will be like an improvement. Because like what the outrage is like wanting to improve things that are like terrible, and just doing like one baby step, even if it's like off subject of what you were outraged about, like uh, will like make a massive change. So if you think about it, let's say there's like some one person in your community, even if it's like a giant city, and they just decided to do something good. It does have a massive ripple effect, and people tend to know who that person is from their good deed because people aren't always doing that. So uh, that feels like a strong suggestion. Like you could even go. I feel like some people could, if you feel drawn to do that, and like just to sort of politely approach the police station or something and just say like, is there anything community oriented that you guys are understaffed for that like you need people to help with or whatever? Uh, that's one thing. Like, let's say, like that maybe there's not like a shelter for women or men or like also this thing that's come up a lot the last year or more. Yeah, like has been like a 24-hour kind of community center thing where people could come for free if they just need to like cool off. Because like people, no matter what your financial situation is, good or bad, like you need a safe space to come to sometimes at 3 a.m., sometimes with your kids to just like not be at home if like things are too heavy. And like, so to create some kind of, because like the way things are structured right now is it's like normal life and emergency, and there's no like middle ground. And I really feel strongly that like things would improve a lot for people if there were a 24-hour space for free, the community center kind of place where you could just go and it was like normal to like use this space that is like sort of the middle ground between normal life and an emergency. Just because, like, a lot of stuff is so tied in with, um, purchasing something, like, whether it's a restaurant or a cafe or there's not that many places where people can just go for free, uh, in a sort of community center way, 24 hours, like, because not everybody has that, like, whatever, 15 bucks or, um and you just need, access to, like, a safe space. Alright, also, I was, like, watching, like, Soylent Green for the thousandth time, the other day, and, like, there's the scenes where, the people who need shelter, like, are in the church and, like, I remember I remember churches having more of an open door policy that way, not to be overrun with people, but it will allow people to, like, warm up or take a moment or whatever. They weren't just, like, praying, um, and you don't I haven't seen that in the last, I don't know, 20 years or whatever. So, it'd be like, I don't know if there could be social pressure for, like, those spaces to be used if there are no other ones, to just kind of have some kind of like, I don't know if that's something you can do within your community to say, like, "Hey, is this a place where it could be a 24-hour space?" Because like, sometimes churches have those, like, kitchens downstairs or meeting spaces or, it doesn't have to be in the, uh, religious part of the church, yeah. So it's about, like, realizing, like, the needs, and then, like, finding some kinda easy solution. Okay, I'm just gonna see what el one more thing, and then I don't wanna, like, be on here forever. Um, I don't know, I feel like animals coming up as a subject matter, so it kind of feels like pets more than just wild animals. I'm feeling like it'd be good to, like, look up how to make your own, pet food, because, like, not all pet food is, like, made well, and, like, in general, it'd be good like, with all the tariffs and that's sort of the sort of cutting off of the friendship between countries and stuff and trade, like, it's even more important to be like, "Okay, who's the nearest, like, dairy farmer and who locally makes really good sourdough bread," or, like, just figure out, like, where can I get stuff locally? Um, and then by extension, I guess, like, a lot of pet food is, like, dried, so you could, like, initially make it and then use, like, a dehydrator or however you dry it. I'm not an expert, but, to make a batch that is, like, the proper diet for them and, hope for the best or whatever. But I kind of feel like it's really good to know that stuff and, find some, like, basic herbal remedies and just sort of have that around or, like, get used to kinda, like, living more locally. Like, where I am right now, like, there's, like, a weekly delivery of, like, good homemade bread at the, corner store, and it's, like the quality of that is so, much above, like, anything you could buy that's made industrially, so it's kinda like it'd be cool if the whole corner store was just, like, local awesome stuff, like local honey and, like, local bread and whatever, um, so, like, let's say a corner store isn't open to that, like, you could have, like, kinda like market day again at the community center, but, like, you know what I mean? Or just anywhere that is, like, or even just, like, within, like, personal connections, like, with the farmer. It doesn't, you don't have to make it community wide, but it's like, I just really feel strongly that it'd be a good idea to make your own pet food, and you can look up how what is appropriate for whatever animal online, like, with suggested diet kind of thing. Um, and, like, the less you need these, like, the structure of, like, industrial food and delivery and, like, all that stuff, like, the less you need that, the better. And then, like, turbulent times don't, like, knock you over as much because 'cause you're just like, "Well, I like buying locally. I prefer it. It tastes better, like, it's more community building, like, there's more benefits to it." Alright. Right, any last words? Yeah, I feel like strong winds and stuff, so, I guess, like, before, like, windy time here is, like, August, so I'd say, like, before August, really look at this your place, like, wherever you are, and kinda go, even if it's not a place that's generally too windy, just be like, "Okay, do should I have shutters? Should I," like, what, you know what I mean? Like, kinda, like, have a look, like, tighten some screws or whatever on your place, and, 'cause I feel like the wind could be, like, exceptional this year. Or it could be, like, how some people have basements, or you know what I mean? Uh, like in, The Wizard of Oz, like, people went to, like, the root cellar to, that kinda thing, like, is there some sort of place that would be, like, a good little spot for, like, a little, not a crazy storm that lasts months and months, but, like, like, maybe you're comfortable there for, like, a day? It doesn't have to be underground, obviously, just something strong, like, it's like the Three Little Pigs, right? Alright, well, I'm gonna end it there. I do sometimes, viewers reach out and ask for distance healing or psychic readings, and I do those, so feel free to contact me for that, and feel free to leave a comment, and, also, yeah, if you subscribe, it'd be great if, like, I got some subscriptions, at least breaking 1,000 would be, like, incredible. Just tell your friend, tell your grandma. Alright, well, thanks for spending time with me. Talk to you later, bye.